Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
President Biden's first State of the Union on Tuesday night started with him strongly condemning Russia and projecting unity amongst U.S. lawmakers and allies abroad, calling out Russian President Vladimir Putin for the invasion in Ukraine. For that 10 minutes of the 62-minute address, Republicans were standing up and applauding the president, and there was really unity within the chamber, with everybody kind of celebrating what he was saying and showing support for the Ukrainian people. This year, a very notable guest of the First Lady was the Ukrainian ambassador to the United States, who sat with the First Lady. And when the president acknowledged her during her speech, she received applause, of course, from both sides of the aisle. The president then went into kind of a wish list of what he wanted from Congress, which was a typical format for the State of the Union. Going along with the overall theme of bipartisanship and unity throughout the night, the president thanked the Republicans who voted for his bipartisan infrastructure law.
I thank my Republican friends who joined to invest and rebuild America.
The president also called on Congress to pass voting rights legislation, the Equality Act, his Federal Reserve nominees, and his nominee for Supreme Court Justice. While calling for Congress to confirm his Supreme Court nominee, the president honored the career of Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, who was sitting in the chamber. He received a standing ovation from members of Congress, and he appeared to be very kind of embarrassed and very humbled by the applause.
Get up, stand up and see you. Thank you.
Another kind of viral moment of the night is when Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York seemed very overenthusiastic. At one point, the cameras cut to Schumer, who stood up alone while the president was in mid-sentence and was clapping. The president continued to talk about the American Rescue Plan, which is the COVID relief package that was passed last year. And so then Schumer shot up from his chair and clapped again, but this time he was actually joined by many of his Democratic colleagues. The president really emphasized his position that defunding the police is not the answer.
We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. Is to fund the police. Fund them.
It was notable that members, and of course the president even, weren't wearing masks during the speech or even during the entrance into the chamber and when they were all greeting each other. And the president kind of marked that this was a turning point of COVID and we no longer need it to take over our lives. And the president emphasized that people should be returning to schools, offices without masks. You know, it's time to fill our great downtowns again, he said. So he was really trying to mark that life should go back to this normal or maybe this new normal. So towards the end of his speech, he really focused on unity. He proposed this unity agenda, which was 4 items he urged Congress to pass on a bipartisan basis. And as a personal appeal, he called on Congress to pass a law that would ensure that veterans receive care if they were exposed